What's up, nerds and nerdettes and wee little nerdlings all? It's your buddy Big John and G with Two Gun Pixie presents Legendary Gaming. Let's see how bad I messed myself up in the editing with that whole switch back and forth. Alright, so welcome to another Christmas edition, our daily Christmas edition of our Gaming Radar. This is a segment where I tell you about games I don't have, I haven't played, I don't know much about, other than what I do know makes them worthy to be put on my radar. Games I'm keeping an eye on because I think I want to add to the shelves. Now, there's been a theme the last 2 days, if you've noticed. Handy theme. Although it is quite bloody. Crimson, to be exact. So this continues the Crimson Hand metagaming cycle that I would like to do one day and bring to you all and let you judge how well I can string 3 different games together to make a cohesive, almost, kinda story. Now, first, we saw the American Revolution, post-American Revolution 1700s. Then, we're in the 1800s Wild West of America. And now, the roaring 20s and 30s. The time of Indiana Jones, so to speak. And this is, of course, filled with that style of high adventure. And I'm talking about an expansion for the game Fortune and Glory, a cliffhanger series. It's called that because the way the cards are set up, it is literally a cliffhanger. You set something up that you're doing, and then for the event you have to wait until the beginning of your next turn for it to become resolved. It's a very interesting system that they have. And there's an expansion, The Rise of the Crimson Hand. And, well, we go down the table, and I'll tell you about this. What's up, my friends? Thank you for joining me down here on the table. As I said yesterday, yes, this is the third and final part of this metagaming trilogy concept that I think is really cool, and I wanted to share with you, because if you think it's cool, then you deserve to have these ideas on your gaming radar as well. So yes, high adventure in some of the last days of high adventuring, at least in a very pulp fiction sort of way. The culmination of the Crimson Hand story. The culmination thus far, anyway, of their story. Moving the timeline from the post-American Revolution to the American Wild West to now, the days just prior to World War II's starting. And now your adventurers are in for some very interesting times. Fortune and Glory, the cliffhanger game. So the expansion for them that really delves into the Crimson Hand, because they are in the base game. They are one of the villain factions in the base game. It's that and the Mafia. Them and the Mafia. Cult and Mob. But the expansion, Rise of the Crimson Hand, it takes them and runs the marathon with them. And this game is well. Let me just say that this game is gonna cost your time a little bit more than 2 hours in a day, maybe close to 3. Plan at least 3 hours. And if you have more than 3 or 4 players, because you can have up to 8. I have never played this game with more than 5, and that was a fiasco. It took forever. I'm not gonna try that again. But if you do, maybe you're much better with handling big parties in these epic games. It's going to run you more than 3 hours. I'm betting it definitely will. And it's good for ages 12 and up. And this is Fortune and Glory's Rise of the Crimson Hand expansion. So there's a bunch of new old stuff, new regular stuff, as opposed to a ton of brand new rules and situations that aren't covered in the base games. Because remember, most expansions fall into the 2 categories of it's giving you more of the same, which this is, or it's giving you something brand new that you have to learn new rules for, which isn't a bad thing at all. I'm just explaining the little difference there. And this is definitely more of new the same. So what you're going to be getting in this game is, well, first of all, obviously, minis. There's about 8 Acolyte minis and 3 unique bosses that are coming with this game. And some of the new stuff to add into your regular decks of cards, everything from your gear, your ally cards, of course the artifacts that you're hunting down, which was what makes the whole game run. It's the gas in the machine of this thing. There's also going to be new dangers and new villains. It's going to expand upon the Crimson Hand and make them a much more recognizable, maybe that's not the right phrase, no, make them much more prominent threat to your party. Now, this game doesn't have to be a party. It doesn't have to be cooperative. You can't be playing against each other. But I think the game shines the most when you play cooperatively and you're able to bring in one of these villain organizations. It really makes the game pop, I think. Makes the stories pop, the adventure just a little bit grander. Now it also adds in what they're calling major city epic event charts, which are gonna be these major impacting moments in the game, so that's close to a new rule. So there's a little bit of something new in the new game, and the rest of it is just new stuff of the same old stuff, which in this case is fabulous. It really beefs up your decks to the point that if you've played this game a few times, you might be getting tired of seeing some of the same things, or at least knowing what's coming up, whether you know it's coming up immediately in the drawer, you just know it's got to be coming up soon because it's in there and nobody else has gotten it yet. This will add in a little bit of that mystery aspect, of anticipation, of unknown anticipation, and that is such a great feeling when you're sitting down at the table and playing a game. And this expansion, Rise of the Crimson Hand, definitely is bringing that to the table. And then when you have all 3 of these expansions for these games, you can try to do something like I want to do. Just do this meta gaming of weaving a story in between. I mean, you're obviously not going to be making a legacy game out of this, but you can house rule and do your best to add in the concept that the characters that are being played from one game to another are somehow related to each other, either through bloodlines or some other connections that you find fun. And that's definitely what I'm going to do. And if you do this also, or maybe you've done this, maybe this is something that you've already done, because I would not be surprised if someone else had thought of this before me, then leave a comment down below and let me know how it ran for you. I could definitely use, I'll definitely use the tips. So thank you very much. Thank you for checking us out on Facebook, on Instagram, and on Twitter. Very cool. Thank you so much for heading over to our Zazzle store and checking out some of the official Two-Gun Pixie merchandise that we have on sale over there. Our cool, nerdy, tabletop gaming. Right now is a lot of RPG stuff. I got to get back to doing some more designs, I think, now that it seems to be being noticed. I think I want to do some more designs. Thank you for checking that out. And thank you, everyone, for subscribing to Two-Gun Pixie, for liking us, for commenting, and especially now, this time of year, I really got to say thank you for the great gifts that you give us. And by that, I mean the sharing of our videos is fabulous. It's great when you share them on your social media sites and Facebook and Twitter. As a great way to spread the love. So thank you and continue doing that. I'm your buddy Big Johnny G. The Two-Gun Pixie presents Legendary Gaming. And my friends, I'm out of here.